bomb. I learned 2 new moves that I never thought I would know. I'm gonna teach these kids and then my shoulders. Hey,
And you gonna
hey,
beef it up?
hey. I'm telling you. So you just finished your first class.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I feel accomplished. I feel successful.
This is an exclamation point right there. Success. Genius. There were some barriers. What were some barriers there?
Like Eventbrite, for instance. I had never created an Eventbrite account, managed it, done ticket sales or reservations, and I had a lot of like nervousness about that because it's, for me at least, always a question of, will I be able to figure it out? How difficult is it? And the answer is yes, you will be able to figure it out. And if you can't figure it out, Google can. And if you can't find it on Google, your friends know.
Yes.
Right? So there was that, and then there was actually creating the dance fitness event and deciding the schedule, the length. And then as I practiced the routine also, it's hard to know when you're going to have to stop and explain things. So the timing. Modifications.
Yeah.
So trying to predict how long things would go for was a little challenging. I was not using my own personal metric of success. I started to use other generic and stereotypical measures of success, like attendance, number of people. And I had to remind myself, number of people in the room was never the goal or the measurement of success. It was creating and executing the event, which happened. So if you ask yourself, am I successful? Was this a success? It's yes, because you accomplished that, and even any mistakes you made along the way, any challenges you faced, you're successful because you went through those.
Absolutely. How do you feel that you've executed? Because that was the part that we had to get here today from basically a month ago. How do you feel that you accomplished something that was just an idea at one point?
Yeah, I think the check-ins were huge because, again, when you are just kind of listening to yourself, yourself can convince you of all these things. That's not right. You're going to mess up. You won't figure it out. It's not realistic. And remember, at one point, I told myself, this is not possible because the speaker in the dance room is broken, right? I legitimately thought, no speaker equals...
That was like such a heavy burden on you.
Huge. And it was like, okay, like talking that out made me realize you could borrow a speaker. You could buy your own speaker.
Amazon Prime.
At least the thought of a speaker didn't prevent the planning and execution of the event from the start.
Yeah.
Right? If we start thinking about speakers to decide whether or not an event should even happen in the first place, that becomes a start and stop immediately.
Yeah, so the technique that I feel like I used with Jamese when it came to starting it, instead of thinking about the little things, because us as creators, we think about the smaller things first, then the big picture. So we work backwards, and then when we hit a little roadblock, we then eliminate that whole vision that we had because of something minute that someone else could probably help us with. So what I told her is, get the big things done. You're going to create a flyer, right? You're going to have a date and time. How much is it going to be? The 3 W's, and then put the flyer on social media. So now, not only is Shaniqua your accountability partner, but everyone else who saw your post.
Right.
And that is in your unconscious. So it forces you to execute. That was another thing that I had on my side.
Huge. Oh my God. That like, I like how you just framed that, focusing on the big piece, and then the big piece was tied to those accountability, because I can't tell you how many friends not in Philly hit me up, text me.
She was so surprised that people actually bought the ticket.
Like, the morning I woke up and had my first ticket, so I was like, it's my first ticket. Ticket sale. Okay.
24 hours before, 48 hours before. Explain your feelings.
So 48 hours before my monthly started.
Okay.
So
that's real life.
That's real life. The monthly definitely got the emotions going, the irritability going, and I had to divorce that from the goal, right? The goal is to deliver an experience,
Yes.
execute on an event. What was nice though was that I had that document we created to refer back to. What was the experience I wanted to create? So I read that and could continue to focus there. I think the last challenge I will highlight, which was like in the moment, was the group that wanted to use the same space we were in and had reserved.
I'm going to show you guys some blooper when it comes to that. Yeah, that was tough. But
Yeah, and so it worked out, honestly, because they ended up postponing their meetup time.
yes,
We got through our workouts,
everything.
and when we finished, they were there and ready to change places. So, yeah.
So on the side of execution,
Mm-hmm.
you are there, you're like, ooh, you got the Rocky, like, oh, you're on top. Now, how do you feel taking that mind frame of I can execute, I can do anything different? Because I think this, not only did you execute, but it was something totally out of the realm of what you normally do.
I feel like I'm still processing just the fact that it came and it went.
Yeah.
We accomplished it, and I
It
definitely
was so
wanna-
fast,
It
right?
was fast. It was. I want to definitely reflect on it and savor those moments, memories, and experiences. But I'm just gonna take that catchphrase, that tagline. I can do anything.
Yeah.
Or I can plan and execute. Sometimes it's hard to do it alone, be it negative self-talk creeping in, doubt creeping in, or maybe that tendency to go straight to the small picture instead of focusing on the big picture. So keeping those tendencies in mind and trying to course correct, either, if I recognize it myself,
Yeah.
or getting help and support from my people.
But now you have to present that big deal to someone else and
Right.
say, I need this support. I
Right.
need this help. I don't know how to do this. I looked at it this angle. I looked at it over here. Tried to check underneath, but it's not working out for me. And this
Yeah.
person can say, "Oh, let me open this up from the top for you. This is how you do it. I've
Yeah.
already read the manual. I've already spent 2 years doing this. I'm gonna give you the knowledge."
Right. Yeah. Because I overthink things so much, and that I don't want that to be a detriment.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And we have to learn as creative people that we are wasting time if we're looking at the little aspects of our life and making it so much bigger than what it is. We're wasting our time, really.
Yeah.
When we could be focusing on the things that we love to do and the things that give us joy, happiness, peace, tranquility, all those different things that fulfillment, those things that we quote unquote desire, but we're not willing to get rid of those apprehensions as quickly as we should.
Right.
So with that, it takes practice and exercise. We are exercising with our minds how to move from one point, another step to another with execution. I'm giving up the things that I don't know. It's unknown. I'm giving up those things so someone can support me. All right, I'm giving up the unknown so someone else can support me. So, any last remarks?
Thank you again for coming through, helping me to remember it's important that I show up for myself. Where I remember you kind of messaging me about stuff you were working on and saying, I promised myself that I would do this. I got to get this done.
Yeah.
And then that motivated me to say, oh yeah, I said I was going to create that Eventbrite, and I haven't, and I keep postponing, pushing back. I need to show up for myself. So here's to 2019, showing up for ourselves, pushing ourselves, supporting one another.
First quarter. Done.
Facts.
The first one is over. Complete.
Like,
Wait, 1 or 2?
2 high fives? Like,
it's over.
It's called Sensei. I had to look Sensei up because I didn't know what that meant. But it means teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, so this first little bit, I'll just kind of show you the moves, and